everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for our first ever St. Al's Pi Day Gala. Many of you have registered in advance, and therefore you're eligible for the drawing of this awesome Michigan Tech hockey jersey that we've got signed by the players. We're going to be drawing that tomorrow. Watch your email for the announcement of the big winner.
We are standing here in the historic Parish Hall, a memorable place for many who have come through the doors of St. Albert the Great University Parish, a place where students have gathered for decades to socialize, study for classes, and to go deeper into faith through programs like the Friday Night Fireside Fellowship and RCIA. There are so many memories that have been created here at St. Al's at Michigan Tech, and what an incredible blessing to see how much it has grown in recent years. More than 300 students came through our doors each week. Over 100 students are involved in Catholic Bible studies. We have more than 50 student leaders living together in intentional communities at our 6 affiliated Catholic houses. And 8 students and alumni from the past 4 years are currently in seminary or religious life. As you can see, the mission of St. Al's is not just a nice thing happening on the campus of Michigan Tech. This is a mission that is of significant importance to the future of the Catholic Church. This is about who these students become. This is about life.
Welcome. Welcome to the first ever St. Al's Pi Day Virtual Gala. We are so thankful you are here. Over the next 30 minutes, we're going to take you deep into the mission and show you the impact that this ministry has had on the lives of countless students who have come to Michigan Tech. There's no better place to start than with the space that serves as a central hub for this faith community, the Parish Hall. For nearly 60 years, this space has served as the main gathering area at St. Al's. We all remember coffee and donut socials after Mass. In the course of a given week, though, it is used for many, many more activities. Students have come together in this hall for ping pong matches and even full-scale hockey games. The kitchen is used to prepare food for a variety of gatherings. And this is where everybody comes out of the cold to warm up after working on the Winter Carnival all-nighter snow statue and the ice chapel. We have Father Wantland here with us via Zoom to share a bit about the past. Father, thank you so much for joining us.
First of all, let me thank you for inviting me to be with all of you. It's a pleasure and a joy, and I'm happy to be part of what this is all about, that you're trying to put together as far as the development of the hall at St. Al's.
Father, can you share some history of the Parish Hall? How it was used in the 70s and 80s when you were here?
This has been years, man, you guys. We didn't have a lot of space like you do today. And the chapel rats lived downstairs, and their responsibility was to be available and present when people walked around. I wanted people to know that they were the chapel rats and that they were there to be a source of friendliness. And so I would emphasize that with them. We used the kitchen in the hall would be when we had certain things and we needed more space. We had social dances from time to time. We used part of the hall for Winter Carnival when they had food for the people that were coming in and out. Occasionally the parish council met there. I think we had some Bible study. I had that in there. It worked out well. It was a good place for social events. My most fond memory of being there is starting the spiritual renewal retreats. It changed the tone of St. Al's. And my vision was that we were supposed to be building Christian leaders for business and industry. I suppose you're aware of this. Many of the people that come to Tech, they come from good families. So you just continue to build on that theme. And that's what I think we're all about. It's about serving God and serving others.
Father, thank you so much for taking time to join us for this event.
Thank you for having me with you this day. And hopefully you will have some insights into the way life was, and maybe still is, at St. Albert the Great. And hopefully you continue to develop it.
From the time St. Al's was built, the Parish Hall has served as the living room for this community. It is, of course, the central spot for after-Mass socials with coffee, donuts, and bagels, as well as a number of other socials and meals. At other times, the hall is used as a place of study. Some of our more than 24 active Bible studies use this space to meet and grow together spiritually. And during finals week, the entire space is converted into a study hall for students. Several times each year, the Parish Hall is set up for dances and even for coffee house concerts. This hall is the space where we most often engage new students outside of Mass. It is the place where friendships are built and a strong sense of community is formed. Let's hear a little bit from a couple of those students.
Before I came to St. Al's, I was a Sunday, Christmas and Easter Catholic, you could call it, and it definitely wasn't the focus of my attention. The last year of high school and my first week here at Michigan Tech, all of my grandparents passed away, and I realized that I wanted to go to heaven with my family. It was an internal feeling that I wanted faith, and I found it here at St. Al's.
My faith journey began when I was younger. I used to go to church with my grandma, and I was actually baptized and had my first communion as a Lutheran. When I started my second year here at Michigan Tech, I had been going to Mass on Sundays, and since I was Lutheran, I always wondered, why can't I go up for Mass and take communion? After becoming very interested in that, I walked up to the St. Al's booth and I started talking to Sister Jacqueline. She had invited me to look into RCIA. I thought about it, but I thought, it's probably not my time. Maybe I'll do it at another point in my life, and I didn't go. I had gone to sleep that night and I was really worried about my exams and my classes. So for the first time in a really long time, I prayed and I just asked God for his help. The next morning, I woke up to an email from Sister Jacqueline saying that it wasn't too late to join RCIA, and that's when I knew that it was a sign from God that this was my time. So I began my journey becoming a Catholic.
Within the first week here at Michigan Tech, I found a few people from my hall in the dorms, and we would come to church every Sunday. As we started coming together, we would then maybe stick around for a social, or we'd come down for brunch. And then I got the invitation from a friend who was also coming to Mass with me. There's a program here at St. Al's called the Chapel Rats. You do 12.5 hours to help mop the floors and keep the carpet vacuumed. And with that, you live at St. Al's. That was the big invitation to really take the next step in my faith.
After becoming Catholic and coming to Mass more often, I decided that I wanted to get involved with the Bible study, and that is where I met the Focus missionaries, who have continuously had the invitation to help grow my relationship with God so much deeper.
So today, I'm happy to say I've lived at St. Al's for 3 years, and I couldn't be happier. After I was given the invitation from St. Al's, I found that faith in my relationship with God is the #1 priority. And although I spend more time in adoration, in masses, in prayer, in Bible studies, you'd think I have less time. I actually have more. When I decided to come to Michigan Tech, St. Al's wasn't on my radar at all. It's just so prevalent in the Michigan Tech community that it came to me. This is my faith now. I'm excited to move forward with my life with the background St. Al's has provided me.
After being at St. Al's and learning everything that I have about God and really going deeper into my relationship with God, I'm so excited to be able to share that with people that I'm around. I can't wait to be a part of a parish or, have my own Bible study at the company I'm at. My true calling in life is that I want to be a great mom someday, and I want to have kids that are gonna go and, spread God's word and make a difference in people's lives like the people at St. Al's have for me.
When I hear a student talk about, being more committed, more involved with their faith now than they were when they were growing up, that that's awesome, right? Like that's what we want to see happening. And so many people have been invited to get involved in some way, which has been transformative. But the time we spend together building relationship, building friendship is really the starting point for everything else the Lord wants to do in our lives. And so our hall is such an essential part of that. It's where the life of the parish happens in all those non-liturgical ways. So, we do all kinds of things in the hall. I mean, we have big meals, we have solemn brunch, we have Bible study, we have tournaments. Every Saturday night there's a swing dance in the hall. The furniture in there is constantly being rearranged. Tables are being set up and taken down, and chairs are being put in one place or another. It really is a busy, lively, life-giving place in our parish community. And we look forward to being able to use that effectively, actively, vibrantly in the future as we've used it in the past. I'm so grateful and humbled to see the Lord holding us together in an ever deeper relationship of love with God and with each other.
When young people enter the college experience and encounter Jesus, it changes their hearts, and they begin to live differently. That is why these years are so critical. This mission is about the rest of their lives. Who these students become because they are the future leaders in your parishes. Everything we do for them now will have an impact on them and the rest of their lives.
You just heard two unique testimonies from students who have been transformed by the ministry of St. Albert the Great. But I can't think of any better individuals to share more about the impact of St. Al's than two of the priests who have led this ministry in recent decades.
So I'm here with Father Larry and Father Ben. Fathers, thank you for being here with us today.
Okay.
Now, Father Larry, you're a former pastor from St. Al's, and when did you serve here?
From 1997 to 2009.
Awesome, thank you. And Father Ben, you're a current pastor, and when did you start at St. Al's?
I was transferred here in November of 2013.
My first question for you guys today is, why is college such a critical time to reach young people?
Young people are depicted as having, in many cases, walked away from the faith, but my experience is that there's an incredible openness. I think college is a unique time just to reach people, like in the whole trajectory of their lives. It seems to me that a lot of times our undergraduates have more time and availability, they're more available to be invited, to be taught than at any other time in their lives. So I think there's just a really unique opportunity to draw them deeper into the faith at that moment.
So how does St. Al's impact a lifelong Catholic mission of a person?
I think in many ways, something we would remind the students of when they were here is that they were going to become parishioners in parishes after they graduate, and that they really could bring a lot with them.
Yeah, I think, we often see students who, as they come to campus, maybe in some level have already kind of decided to walk away from the faith. Like the faith is not a priority. And we frequently talk to students after they've gotten involved here, and they'll say, going to college, I wasn't planning to go to church. Beyond kind of deepening their journey, a lot of times we have a chance to help a young person not abandon their faith, right? Not walk away, and actually come out of this stronger in their faith rather than having lost their faith.
Often that happens at a peer-to-peer level too. I always think of a young man who said, I came to Michigan Tech with not good intentions. And he said after some discussions with his dorm mate in the residence halls about theology of the body, he said he felt the scar tissue fall from his heart, and he fell in love with the church and with Jesus.
Yeah, it's truly a beautiful testimony, right? And I think for many students, and speaking from the position of a student, right, the friendships that we gain from St. Al's is just truly incredible. And do you have any examples of that or experiences that you see pushing people beyond graduation?
We hear from Tanner, like his being invited by you to consider becoming a chapel rat, right? He's now the head chapel rat, and that was possible because, as guys who knew each other in the dorms, you reached out to him. So I think we see that over and over again. I mean, we just, one of the laws of campus ministry is that the personal invitation by a student is like the gold standard, right? Like nothing has more power to transform the campus than a student inviting one of their peers, and we just see that playing itself out over and over again.
And of course that wonderful be possible without the facilities and the wonderful facilities we have here at St. Al's. So now from your guys' experience, how has the impact of St. Al's changed over recent decades?
really coming out of the efforts of all of the pastors here is a growing number of opportunities for students to grow beyond simply attending Mass, right? So it's of great significance that a student would come to Mass on Sunday. But starting in the 70s and 80s, there was a growing retreat movement. Activities, fellowship, and with the advent of our focus missionaries in 2014, the number of students involved in Bible studies. So I think we've seen certainly always lots of students involved in coming to Mass, but in more recent generations, I think we've seen more and more students who are connected beyond the Mass, kind of in ways that in many ways help them grow even deeper.
I remember wanting to come here as a new priest, as the pastor, but thinking it would never happen. In fact, there was a plan that the priest that I succeeded would probably be the last priest here, nearly 30 years later, and there are 2 priests here. And it's almost become one of the premier parishes in the Upper Peninsula. And I think a lot of that has to do with the reputation of our graduates, and you can just see how their faith is being lived in very beautiful ways, in convincing ways, and our bishops are well aware of that. Yeah.
How have you seen Bible studies leaders and other things, from your experiences with alumni and people that you've stayed connected with, how they've been able to go out and impact their parishes and their communities?
To me, the young families, mainly to say yes to God's gift of life, but also to provide more disciples, if you will. We want to have more people who want to love, serve, and know Jesus and proclaim the gospel.
We want to foster a kind of a culture here where it's more and more normal, right, for a student to ask the question, God, what are you calling me to in my life? Not just kind of what do I want, or what do my parents expect, or what are my professors encouraging me to do? All of those are good things, but really, approaching that with a spirit of discernment, what is the Lord's call for me? I think if we can open that door, there's really no limit to the fruitfulness that's going to come out of that.
I know there are four of my chapel rats from when I was here who are priests for our diocese today.
That's awesome.
And there are some that are priests in other places too, and some of the ladies who have become religious, and certainly having a great impact.
Yeah, just recently we kind of reckoned it up, and we have, I think, 8 men in various stages of formation for the priesthood right now who are recent graduates of St. Al's. Several with religious orders, several with their home dioceses, but it's just awesome to think that, we're opening students' hearts to say yes to God's call, whatever that call may be, but to say yes to the Lord in a big way, and that definitely makes an impact. In fact, the impact of that isn't really here primarily, right? It's all the places that our graduates go.
So what is the importance of the facilities at St. Al's to the outreach?
Yeah, so I think it's a blessing that we have quite a bit of space, and it means that lots of different things can be happening. People can be meeting for the first time over some food at a social, and a focus missionary or a student missionary who are mentoring someone, discipling them, really helping them go deeper. That they can be sitting in one corner having that conversation, and somebody else in the room is working on their homework, and the Lord's doing a lot of different things all at once, around the hall.
One of the first things that comes to mind for me is that often the students are kind of looking for that home away from home. So that's part of what the facilities can offer.
I mean, having good facilities doesn't convert souls, but it gives us the opportunity to meet people and to connect with them and to go deeper with them.
What specifically is the importance of the parish hall?
It's often the first time that students connect with one another and have those personal conversations. Sometimes their first encounter with St. Al's is, of course, the chapel, which is very important, but then they would often end up here afterward. And then often it was their last encounter too. I know during the years I served here, we'd normally have a graduation lunch. I think too of the community outreach, it seems like our diocese would have a gathering for high schoolers every other year. And then they would ask the parishes of the Upper Peninsula to have regional gatherings on the opposite years. So that opposite year for the Copper Country was usually here at St. Al's. And our youth ministry retreat team would do usually an all-day retreat for the high schoolers. And you might have 100 high schoolers here for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, in more recent years that's continued. We've been hosting net retreats. So the net missionaries will come in. So the space is serving certainly our college students, but also really the broader Catholic community and the broader community as a whole.
I think your imagery that you used earlier with being one of the first memories and the last things that we see at Tech is very, very true. Now let's look at the kitchen. How does the kitchen impact the ministry at St. Al's, and what are some memories that you have with it?
When people talk about different kinds of human relationship, a lot of times the characteristic that's kind of identified with friendship is it's two people who are kind of moving in the same direction, right? They have a common purpose, a common mission. They're working on something together. And I think one really simple way that happens is in the kitchen, and so when people are, cooking together, preparing together, you can just see the connections being formed. I've often walked into the kitchen and seen two people talking and realized I'm not sure I've ever seen them talking before, and sometimes that turns into a friendship, sometimes that turns into a dating relationship, but somehow it always contributes to the growth of the community. And sometimes I'll even just be strategic. If there's a student I haven't really got a chance to know, I'll look for a way to work on a task, with them.
I know you were the one that taught me how to dice onions in that kitchen. That was the first time I ever learned it, and how to make roadkill pasties.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the key. When not everybody who ate the pasties was fully aware of their origins, but they were delicious.
And Father Larry, I believe you were mentioning how St. Al's is a warm place, right? And definitely the kitchen tying into that.
Yeah. Sometimes people who were not Catholic, but would be walking from one place to another on campus, perhaps from the SDC, down campus, and would just come in here to warm up a little bit, and it was kind of a friendly place to be, and our doors were always open 24/7, so, yeah.
And then the ice chapel, when people come to the ice mass, they know that there's going to be 40 gallons of homemade chili waiting for them afterwards, and that all happens in the kitchen.
Yeah, just reflecting on how we've been talking about the hall and the kitchen, it's just really true about how it's played such an important role in my college career and my own faith journey here at St. Al's, and ultimately life. And a lot of great memories and a lot of great friendships formed here throughout the years. And I'd like to thank you guys so much for your time here today and for meeting with us and just discussing a little bit of your memories from your time here at St. Al's and the importance of the hall and the kitchen for your ministry and St. Al's ministry.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Jay.
You may have heard, or maybe even seen, that religious involvement is shrinking and that young people are leaving the church in droves. At St. Al's, we're seeing just the opposite. Students are searching, hungry to find purpose in life.
We have seen steady increases in involvement and vibrancy in this ministry. Now's the time, during the college years, to meet our young people and bring them to a life-changing encounter with Jesus.
10 years ago, we would have been lucky to have 10 students active in a Catholic Bible study. And now, because of you and your investment in the ministry, we regularly have 100 or more students. Mass attendance under regular circumstances has grown by more than 50%. We have won the Winter Carnival All-Nighter Snow Statue Contest for 6 years running, while also building an entire chapel out of snow just for fun each year. The community here is strong and it is growing. Friends, this hall where we're standing right now is truly the beating heart of the community. It's the living room of our parish. This is where we gather to socialize, to study, to eat, to dance. Even so, as important as this space is, there have been no significant updates or renovations since St. Al's was built almost 60 years ago. The tile in this space contains asbestos that must be abated. The kitchen is showing its age, especially the cabinets and counters. The restroom entrances are not ADA compliant and need to be renovated to accommodate every person that comes here to gather with us. The pandemic has affected all of us, but it has not stopped the ministry here at St. Al's. If anything, it has led us to explore new and better ways to reach out to students. In the coming years, this ministry will not only be as strong as ever, but more important, more needed than ever before. An updating of the Parish Hall, the kitchen, and the restrooms will contribute to that. I want to ask you to prayerfully consider making a bold gift towards these renovations today. These facilities have served thousands of students over the last 60 years. Now let's prepare them to serve this ministry for decades to come. I'm excited to announce that Catholic Extension has offered us a challenge grant of $50,000 towards these renovations. To earn that challenge, we need to raise $100,000. This will take us a long way towards the cost of all these renovations. Please consider how you might contribute, and also consider sharing this project with other alumni, friends, and family who have enjoyed the use of these facilities over the decades.
There are two ways for you to make a gift today. You can make your donation by going to St. Al's website, mtucatholic.org. Or, if you prefer, you can mail in your donation to 411 McInnes Drive, Houghton, Michigan, 49931. If you received an envelope in the mail, you can simply send it in.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your deep investment in the mission of St. Al's. We know that in today's world, the message of Jesus Christ is needed more than ever. Let's make an impact on the future of the church together. Let us close in prayer. Loving God, we praise you and thank you for your many and rich blessings here at St. Al's down through the years in the past and in the present. Loving God, we beg you to equip us through the gifts and talents you've given us to serve young adults for many years to come. Bless all those who've participated in our virtual gala. Move our hearts, Lord, to be generous with you in many ways. Draw us to serve this mission in every way that we can. We make this prayer through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you all for joining us for this program. God bless, and make sure to stick around for the closing performance.
You don't have a job, don't pay your bills, won't buy you a home in Beverly Hills. Won't fix your life in 5 easy steps. Ain't the law of the land or the government, but it's all you need, and love will hold us together, make us a shelter to weather the storm, and I'll be my brother's keeper, so the whole world will know that we're not alone. It's waiting for you, knocking at your door. Every moment of truth, when your heart hits the floor, and you're on your knees, and love will hold us together, make us a shelter to weather the storm, and I'll be my brother's keeper, so the whole world will know that we're not alone. This is the first day of the rest of your life. This is the first day of the rest of your life. 'Cause even in the dark, you can still see the light. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. This is the first day of the rest of your life. This is the first day of the rest of your life. 'Cause even in the dark, you can still see the light. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. And love will hold us together, make us a shelter to weather the storm, and I'll be my brother's keeper, so the whole world will know that we're not alone. And love will hold us together, make us a shelter to weather the storm, and I'll be my brother's keeper, so the whole world will know that we're not alone.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us for our first ever St. Al's Pi Day Gala. We hope you had a good time. It was a lot of fun getting this ready. Many of you have registered in advance, and therefore you're eligible for the drawing of this awesome Michigan Tech hockey jersey that we've got signed by the players. We're going to be drawing that tomorrow. Watch your email for the announcement of the big winner. Have a good evening. God bless.
Oh, not yet.
All right.
What are you doing?
Can you angle both directions, actually?
We're probably about halfway. So you guys weren't attempting to kind of tailor like an update. Bravely bold Sir Robin rode forth from
And I feel like we should start before that gets too far in.
We actually don't know how to lock the doors.
I know. Yeah. Father Ben figured it out when we had the lock in last spring with
When we waxed the floor down here, Father Ben just walked down because all we did was put chairs in front of the entrances.
The next step, Jay, EWTN.
What's that? EWTN?
Eternal News. Eternal Word
The Catholic television station.
Oh, yep, okay, gotcha. Wow, that was awkward.
This is where we come out of the snow to warm up. Well, the building statue.
How did you get involved? How did you start coming to St. Al's specifically, I guess?
It's the boss. Hey, I saw this by phone.
This space has served as the main gathering area at St. Al's. Let's restart.
Here I am speaking without causing my beard hairs to. Is it hair? Scratchy scratch? Speak like normal.
Father, you want me to crawl up in the tiles and not come down right?
I thought you were going to crawl up in your beard.
Oh no, asbestos!
Oh, we're going down below. Nice. So I'll be on the blooper reel. I look at Ren.
He was making fart noises. He was the most popular guy in 6th grade.
I can just hear some.
So you guys that thing would happen.
Pope Francis supports MTU Catholic. You should too.
Oh no, yeah, I got it.
What could possibly go wrong? All the challenges we faced, I guess I would say that my own confidence that love is going to hold us together as a grumble. Could you hear that? Yeah, that's pretty good, hey? Little belly action there. Abby.
For the closing performance. Yeah, so we're dancing. Stretches and he like pulled back and heard down. I was like,
Sorry, Ren. I'm trying to give you all my best material. Matt Maher claims that love holds us together. But I know that it's actually pasties. The consumption of pasties is an essential component in being able to build ice chapels, snow statues, and to sustain campus ministry in good times and in bad. This beautiful concoction is what will hold us together.